In this video, I'm diving into official and exclusive details from Treyarch on Modern Warfare Zombies Season 4 Reloaded, as we just got a gameplay trailer for it ahead of its release next week, and as part of a creator call, I got to learn some details that haven't been released yet. I'm going to have the trailer running in the background, but watching it without any context at all is a bit confusing on what exactly is coming for Season 4 Reloaded. Diving right in, if you know anything about the Season 4 content for Zombies, you'll know this is a very different season to what we've had before. In the creator call, we were briefed about this by a lead designer at Treyarch called Paolo Pache, which was a bit of a surprise to me because Sledgehammer Games have taken over development of the remaining seasons, so it shows that Treyarch is still somewhat involved in the final seasons. Paolo started by saying that we wanted to confirm one thing straight away, that the next chapter of Modern Warfare Zombies is not going to happen until Season 5 Reloaded, meaning that until then there won't be a new story mission, there won't be a new story cutscene or anything else to continue on the narrative from where we left off, and that they're taking a bit of a break to do something a little bit different. So here's what they've been working on, and that main piece of content coming next week is called Unstable Rifts. So what exactly is an unstable rift? Well, Treyarch described this as being essentially a new wave-based endgame activity, which sounds like their best solution in trying to cater to that round-based zombies audience by offering the closest thing they can to it, but within the Modern Warfare Zombies format. And this is designed to be a super tough endgame activity, specifically for the more hardcore players, what they described as certainly for players who have familiarity with the zombies roots, with this being a bit of a love letter to that. It's already been revealed, but the reward for completing this new activity is it will reward a blanket cooldown on all of your schematics and weapons. So if you complete the unstable rift, the reward is you get a clean slate. You can go into your next Modern Warfare Zombies match fully equipped, and if you want to, take all of that new cooldown equipment and go back in the unstable rift and use that to get another clean slate. So a big question is, where is this unstable rift going to be? And the most important part is that it's in a familiar spot for us. It's going to take place in the Season 1 Dark Ether Rift arena. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the entire map, as it was described as being in a confined space, and that is the most important part of this, because that confined space is going to make this experience extremely intense, and there's just going to be lots of waves of zombies coming at you in this super tight space. So Treyarch said you need to bring your A game for this experience. Now, a massive question with this being a wave-based activity, is it going to be round-based? Is it going to be unlimited waves? And they've confirmed that this will be a predetermined number of waves, so it is not infinite. And whilst they may understand that that might be a bit of a disappointment to some, they've said that despite it being a predetermined number of waves, it is going to be plenty tough, and that with each wave of the unstable rift, the zombies are going to get harder and harder. The next point they mentioned is, why is it called an unstable rift? And ultimately, it's because some of the rules of what we've come to expect in Modern Warfare Zombies is going to be a bit different within this unstable rift, and they've planned for this to be a really hard activity. Hard to the point where they understand that not every run in the unstable rift is going to be successful. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm thinking, geez, this actually sounds pretty exciting by the fact that they have planned and designed this to be really hard. And up until this point, you could argue that most of the design choices in Modern Warfare Zombies have made the game a lot easier for newer players, but this really sounds like this has been designed purely for the hardcore zombie player in mind. So with that discussion of it being so difficult, the big question here would be, how do you do this activity again? With the idea in mind that this has such a powerful reward in cooling down everything, what happens if you lose? And the good news is that when you enter this unstable rift activity, the rift itself is going to power you up. And Treyarch say this is especially important if you come in a little less prepared than you should have been, and in the event that the last run was less successful, going into it, they are going to boost you somewhat. Now, they didn't specify in the call what those details were, but that it will boost us, but it might take some things away. But what it takes away, they make sure that they will replace with fun. Now, another huge discussion is, how do we unlock this unstable rift? Because as we've gotten used to, every season there's some sort of Easter egg quest where you need to get items and get them upgraded and then use them at an ether gate in order to open a new rift portal. And they said that whilst they aren't going to disclose exactly how you unlock this, it's not quite as secretive as an Easter egg, and I'm not sure what they define as an Easter egg, if they define Dark Ether rifts that we've gotten as an Easter egg, or if they mean like an old Easter egg quest in round-based zombies. But apparently this will be certainly fun for us to figure out, but it can be done co-op cooperatively. So this means that either whether you're playing solo or you're in a squad or you're with other squads that you've joined in the game, you can all work together to unlock an unstable rift. But the catch is, once it's done, it's going to be a bit of a race to see who gets there first. This doesn't mean that there's only one stable rift on the map. The activity to unlock the unstable rift can be repeated multiple times in the same game, and Treyarch have vaguely explained that there are lots of opportunities to do this activity to unlock this rift. Then Treyarch ended their discussion on the unstable rifts by specifically giving us a bit of a tease to say if you were the last one to engage in the activity to unlock the unstable rift, it will probably spawn close to your squad. But ultimately, unlocking the unstable rift is a collaborative effort, and they think that we the players will really enjoy the process of unlocking it. The only other significant piece of content coming next week to Modern Warfare Zombies is a radio. And you might think I'm kidding, but no, there is a radio coming, but it's actually pretty important because this is going to be a radio that is going to give us the first official details in lore of Liberty Falls in Black Ops 6 Zombies. You may or may not know that during Season 3 Reloaded, there was a new radio added right by the new rift where Ravenov is having a discussion with Sergeant Miller. It's revealed in that radio that when she was a child, she lived in West Virginia in this town, which she almost reveals the name of, being Liberty something, but then gets cut off by Ravenov, who is surprised to hear that she was even there and that she doesn't really know all that much about it. And in this radio coming next week, Ravenov is going to be explaining all of the backstory to what was happening in Liberty Falls at the time before the Dark Ether incursion happened there. Whilst this will only be a 2 to 3 minute radio, this should give us a lot of intel and lore on the town that we didn't know before, give us a bit more of an insight to how it might work as a zombies map and what exactly happened, and just set up the storyline a little bit, because all we know is that there is an elite crew who were sent in to try and contain the incursion. It doesn't sound like it's the same crew as in the Terminus map, so maybe we'll learn the identities of these characters, maybe even get some map specific features mentioned in the story being told to us as well. But this is likely to be the only bit of Black Ops 6 Zombies news that we're going to be getting until we're getting the full-blown reveal for Zombies, which is extremely likely to be after COD next. So we're looking at September, if not October, the month of the game's release, because they like to keep things shrouded in mystery for as long as humanly possible. Let me know your thoughts on unstable rifts coming in Season 4 Reloaded next week to Modern Warfare Zombies. I think one of the biggest gripes with this is just the function of unlocking it. The fact that it is a race against the entire lobby, and if you're not the first team to complete and make it to the unstable rift in time, you're basically not going to be able to experience the unstable rift. Now, I'm not sure if Treyarch heard the feedback when this was first announced, because I think majority of us can agree that that doesn't sound like a fun mechanic where you can be locked out of doing new stuff because you weren't quick enough to get to it. But I guess only time will tell, and really need to see it in action. But the content itself does sound quite fun. I just don't know how replayable this type of activity is before you've sort of done it all and experienced it all. I hope that there's some sort of variation within the unstable rift where it's not a identical experience every time with the same enemies, and they might have a pool of different enemies that rotate through and maybe change the order of, so that it's slightly different every time. When this update drops next week for Modern Warfare Zombies, I'll be streaming it here on the channel and creating videos on the unstable rift activity, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell so you don't miss out on any of that.